on to you, Sagittarius. You, Sagittarius, have the Ace of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, and the Page of Swords. Very fun time for a lot of you, it seems. You know, you're enjoying your time right now, it seems. Things are going well. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. These two cards, 1 and 1, 1 plus 1, 2. So like this is like more so about you, Sagittarius, finding yourselves a little bit, like I was talking about, and overall really having fun. I mean lightheartedness, right? Also too, learning from your mistakes, the Page of Swords, learning from your mistakes, the things that you need to improve on, the decisions that you make that end up really not really putting you in a very good position. And a lot of you, Sagittarius, are understanding which habits to essentially stay away from, right? Which habits to stay away from, what habits you, Sagittarius, do while you're in a relationship with somebody and it goes down south or it gets worse for you. And the thing is that the Nine of Swords and the Queen of Cups, which is some of those things is that you, Sagittarius, can be a little bit complacent in relationships, meaning that, when things look good at first, you Sagittarius can think that it's always good. And so sometimes you Sagittarius you're not necessarily always proactive. And what I mean when I say proactive, I mean like, when it comes to interacting with other people and stuff like this, they look at it like a game. Now, you don't have to look at it like a game. If you don't want to, you could, but you don't. And it's just that, at the end of the day, you just have to understand what it is that you're willing to take and what you're not willing to take, right? And why you're not willing to take certain things, right? Because like I said, to other people, it's a game. So a person will slam the door in your face, right? Slam the door, right? When it is that you're about to, walk in the door, slam the door right in your face. Boom. Next thing you know, this person doesn't actually wanted to slam the door in your face. They wanted to see if you're willing to take that. You understand what I'm saying? So when you, Sagittarius, understand what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept, now you're like, okay. And how you're able to get to a certain point where you're able to kind of understand the game is understanding that it is a game. A lot of people are playing. A lot of people are losers. A lot of people, and the next 2, 3, 4, 5 generations of losers is coming up right now, including my generation, right? So, which is millennials. So a lot of the generations or the people in the generation is losers. And the reason for that is because they're playing the game. See, you're not supposed to play. See, you can't predict what a person is going to do. If you slam the door in a person's face, you hurt their feelings. You understand what I'm saying? So when you hurt their feelings, if they decide to not rock with you, if you wanted them to accept that kind of treatment so that you can kind of have them the way that you want, but if they have more self-respect than that, to leave a person alone, but then you wanted them, a person took a loss with that one. You understand? Because instead of, come here, baby, because instead of trying to be, come here, my love, instead of trying to run game, a person should have been a little bit more transparent and more truthful with what they wanted. Because the thing is that, again, the Nine of Swords and the Queen of Cups, what they also not going to tell you about the game is you take a lot more losses than you do wins. You get a lot more losses than you get wins, because a lot of this stuff is real talk. A lot of this stuff is really like short yellow bus strategies. It's really short yellow bus if I'm being honest, it's really short yellow bus strategies. If I'm really being honest with you, it's really short yellow bus strategies. It's not really anything, you know, it's not really anything too you know, like like real or anything like that. It's a bunch of people who really are short-sighted. Just, you know, if dang son, am I really gonna go this hard? Yeah, just really lack a lot of mental efficiency. You know, people who really can't, I ain't gonna say see the future, but a person who really can't understand if this then that. You know what I mean? So it's like they end up being in a messed up disposition where it's like, because of it, you know, they don't really account for what happens down the line, right? Or in the future. So it's like now it's like they're wishing, oh, I wish I would have accounted for it, but they were so invested. But the thing about it is that they were so invested on the plot at in the middle of the plot, right? So you have a lot more self-respect. And the Nine of Swords and the Queen of Cups speaks to, yet again, a lot of you Sagittarius are working, and you need to work on that, right? What happens if an ex comes back? What happens, you know, certain scenarios, like what happens if you need to work on a better understanding of the game? What happens, right? And so the thing is that the King of Cups, you have the King and the Queen of Cups, good. So the King of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles, you have to know what it is that you want. Like, if you really want a real relationship, somebody that treats you with respect, then that means that you're going to be saying no a lot more times than you say yes. Because the truth is, what raises your value, especially when it comes to like dating and stuff like that, is who you walk away from. That's the reason why the chicas find that you are high value when you ignore them, because the ignoring them is the walking away. You see what I'm saying? You know, and a lot of the fellas act like this too. So, but the thing about it though is that on one side, they're playing a game. On the other side, they're doing it because of experience, and that they know what to do, because this is not their first rodeo. And it really just depends on for you Sagittarius, what it is that you want and your experience and what you're willing to actually accept. You know, like me, I accept the fact that I will walk away from the vast majority of people who I meet. The vast majority, because they're gonna try, because it's academic at this point. It's like textbook. It's so repetitive to the point where it's academic. They're gonna try me. So if I was to go up to somebody and try to like talk to them romantically, I already know that the person is gonna try me 9 times out of 10. And I'll even try to warn the person, don't do that, right? Don't do that, because I will leave. And then the person will try to test me and see, oh, okay. Now, and then what's gonna happen? Well, what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna pick up and leave, and then they're gonna feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did this again. Will you forgive me? No, because I told you don't do it again. Then they're gonna feel heartbroken, because now it's, on one hand, I want this person because this person has integrity, but on the other hand, I can't get this person because this person thinks I'm a jerk with good reason. So I already just know from personal experience, just the, you know what I'm saying? It's, you know what I mean? Like, it's like it's like a boxer that's, or like an MMA fighter that's been in MMA for like a long time. They just know, you know, like a John Jones, right? Like they just know their way around the ring. They know what they're doing. You understand what I'm saying? They just, it's textbook. It's like, you know what I'm saying? And so the situation with that is, so since things are becoming more textbook, the Ten of Cups and the Eight of Cups is which is one of the cards that you got, I think. No, I think it was the Gemini, the Taurus, or the Aries of the last batch of videos that I made. But the point is that the Ten of Cups and the Eight of Cups is very powerful because it speaks to the level of fulfillment that you have reached. And that's one of the most powerful things when it comes to the game, is that you need to be fulfilled in yourself. You have to be at a point where, like, you understand that you need to get to a point where you have value as a human being. And then once you have value as a human being, right, independently, I'm talking about just you as a human being, then people can't take the value that you have in relationships, because a lot of people will play on that, right? Because it's about making you feel as sad, down, worthless as you possibly could feel. And the person is doing that, and they're playing on that. They're playing on the fact that now you feel like you're worthless, pathetic, right? Broken, not worth anything. And so what happens? And so the person tells you to do this, you say, okay, all right, on either side. But what happens now when you're like, you know what? It is what it is. I don't really care. I'm willing to walk away from this. I'm willing to walk away from you. I don't care. Da, da, da. And you're able to just see through people enough to the point where they become like characters to you. And when I mean characters, I'm not necessarily talking about characters with names. I'm talking about which person does this, like the type, like the archetype, like this person likes to do this person likes to do that, right? Like what game they're up to, right? Like then you're able to get to a point now where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can walk away from you now, right? Like, Again, I can do without TikTok. I don't really have to be on TikTok, but I use TikTok for a particular reason. But one of the reasons why I kind of use TikTok is to really kind of understand like the archetypes. Some of the people on there are on battles all day long, you know, and like they're pretty, so they get the attention of a lot of people. And like a lot of people spend exorbitant amounts of time all day long trying to convince them that they're alpha and all of this. Some of them go from hotel to hotel to hotel, act like they got some sort of like mental deficiency just so that the hotel can give them something. Like, so you just learn the game from there and just be like, you know what I mean? And so because of that, right? The Sun card right here. Why is all of this stuff important? What am I doing? All of this is important to show you not just one thing, but for starters, to show you, Sagittarius, why it's very important for you, Sagittarius, to be able to create boundaries and to understand strong boundaries and to understand why it's so pivotal for you to not accept people's BS. It's because, like I said before, when you accept people's BS, they will mistreat you. But when you walk away, now it's like, oh, okay. You know, they will dislike the fact that you left because they like you, but they're dysfunctional. They can't be in a relationship with you without treating you like trash because they're dysfunctional, right? So you will see it when you walk away. I've walked away. I've stopped talking to so many people from TikTok. It's not even funny, right? Just go into people's live streams, talk to them, right? Test them out, see how they are, get to know them a little bit, show some love, show some positivity, You know what I'm saying? Show some love or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Just, you know, just overall really show some love, you know, show peace and all that stuff or whatnot. And, you know, if they wildin', they wildin'. And I just don't come back. You know, I just don't come back. And then, boom, let them find out on their own, right? So, but just learn who they are. And it's raising my confidence up, and as it should raise you, Sagittarius, confidence up, because this is what I mean when I say that a lot of like the relationships, especially in today's world, is going to be lopsided for a few more years, because a lot of people have not gotten to the point where they understand, excuse me, that all relationships should be 50-50. There's no exception to that. All relationships should be 50-50. The only kind of exception is when like you can't move your body. But other than that, relationships should be 50-50. Why? Okay, pull up the track and prove why it should be. Because the rest of the relationships is hogwash. It's just mind control, you know, person being a puppeteer trying to control you, Sagittarius, as to why, even though they're affording you less, them trying to mind control you and kind of like pull the wool over your eyes as to why you should offer them more, but then they're giving or offering so less. You feel what I'm saying? The person who offers less in the relationship wants more. But then when you start talking about treating people fairly and then not objectifying them, to worship someone is to objectify them. Because when you start talking to people about treating them fairly, they want all this stuff. And it's like, no, two different things. Treated fairly is 50-50. If they want you, Sagittarius, to give them all this stuff, then that's not 50-50. That's worship, which is objectification. So on one hand, they saying this, you see the confusion? They don't want to be objectified. Okay, so I'll treat you fairly, which is a lack of objectification. That's 50-50. That is what fairness is, a lack of objectifying you, meaning that I'm not objectifying you, you're not being objectified because you're not up on a pedestal, so I'll treat you fairly. 50-50. No, I deserve all this stuff. Okay, which means that you want to be up on a pedestal, which means that you are going to be objectified. It's literally the same thing. So on one hand, you don't want to be objectified, but then you do. Making no sense whatsoever. So I'm gonna object. So if you want me to do all this stuff for you, I'm gonna objectify you, and you need to be okay with it, and you need to hush your mouth because that don't work both of those ways. So let's clarify the Sun card. You see the reason why I say that, you know, things are going to be a little bit wild for the next couple of years until some more people figure it out. Like, oh, okay. Like, all of this stuff is BS, isn't it? It is. So to clarify the Sun card, you have the Page of Pentacles, the Chariot, the Three of Swords, Three of Pentacles, and then you also have the Lovers. To clarify the Sun card, right? So for you, Sagittarius, the Page of Pentacles, the Chariot, and the Three of Swords, it speaks to how your self-esteem is your genuine confidence is starting to show up, because you're learning more about how you Sagittarius are the one that brings the value a lot of the time in y'all relationships. And yet you have some bum that comes into the person that you are in a relationship with, that does less, but demands so much more than you even demand. And you're the one that's actually bringing more to the relationship, mind you. And why that's so funny style is because you would think that the one who is generating more would require more. No, the one that is generating less requires more. And so you, Sagittarius, are understanding how weird and how odd that is, and you're asking questions. You're asking questions about why is it that people move like that, and a lot of other people don't like that. Because the Three of Pentacles and the Lover's card here, it speaks to how, like, again, more self-love, more you, Sagittarius, looking out for yourselves, not just agreeing to be in any kind of relationship. A person has to show you, like, okay, why should you, Sagittarius, grace them with being in a relationship with each other? Right? Like, what are they willing to bring? Like, what value? And and if you ask me, you, Sagittarius, should have been doing that for years. But that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video.